Good morning everyone. This is the complete walkthrough of the qualifying round played in the Metropolitan 9-hole Cup Master Division. This is a quick fire free to play walkthrough and can be done with Kingslayers, Centurions and Luminaries. Before you continue with the video, make sure you have hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. This way you will get notified when I post my final round hole by hole content on Saturday. If you feel my shots are incorrect, the setup is wrong, then you do not have to follow anything I say and you may consider checking out somebody else. If you follow this video, consider some tokens and make your own tweaks, then a score of -18 or lower is possible. Now let's start with hole number 1. For hole number 1, we have a somewhat of a difficult wind and I did not want to pull out the backspin boost ball already. I will though if we have a similar wind in the weekend round. From an empty position, 3 right spin and 1 top spin. Adjustment Max+10 P3. A 631 push, very important. If you push 629, you might catch a glitch roll. Just before circle drop over power, we are looking for a drive yard at somewhere around 320 yards. $319. For the second shot, we are going to play with our Guardian. We'll be using 3 left spin and 4.5 backspin. And the adjustment will be -5% P1 at slider. First, we'll perform our check. It will be a Fairway-Fringe Check. For +3, I estimate it to be around 76% slider. So for +5, I'll be adding 0.2 decimals to the adjustment. And after adding spins, notice the offset I'm trying to make. I'm keeping my second bounce in the center of the dark green column on the right of the pin, the second dark green column. Again, adjustment -5% P1 at slider. Now what I do is I hit a double triple great left, I believe, or a double great left, as a result of which I'll be missing this one on the left. In practice, I was hitting perfect and did drop it once and twice, but however I forfeited those holes, so I don't have the replay. If you hit perfect, you will have a very decent chance going free to play on this one. Again, -5% P1 at slider. For hole number 2, the second shot needs to be a little tweaked in terms of placement of the ball guideline, and then again it will be a very good opportunity for the Alba. We're starting off with the drive, using the rock, keeping the blue ring inside the bunker, and then switch to your Thor's Hammer level 6+. Apply full top spin, 1 bar of right side spin, adjust Max+10 P3, and without any push-up, we'll be applying outer wall left curl with Max+0 P, trying to hit perfect. If you want a really slow needle, you can consider P4 or P5 balls as well. We are looking for a drive yard at somewhere around 432 to 438 yards, or maybe 440 if you get a very bad glitch roll. 437 here. The second shot will be played at landing position plus at a slider and 15% P3 settings. So for +7, I estimated it to be around 88% slider for my cat level 7. And any plus yardage above or below, we'll be adding or subtracting 0.1 decimals. About 2.2 left spin and 5.2 backspin. And now see the ball guideline here. From what I have on the video, I would recommend having it a little lower. For +5, I'll be removing 0.2 decimals from the adjustment. Again, landing position plus head slider and 15% P3 settings. If you are able to successfully make the tweak in the landing position and the ball guideline, then you should be having a very good opportunity for an albatross on this hole. The Guardian backspin shot is still in play, however, I was getting a little inconsistent on the drive. So I first wanted to have my drive correct, and then the second shot can be tweaked. Like I said, just find a nice spot using the ball guideline and you might drop this one. Hole number 3, a easy drive to green for a putt or a wedge at complete P5 max, blue ring by the rough fairway line using our rock level 9, and then using our rock we're going to adjust max minus 30% P5 settings. After we have made our adjustment, we are going to switch to our Apocalypse and then apply full topspin with 2 topspin boost and 1 bar of right side spin. You can again play this one with the luminary high, but then you will have a wedge shot. So I recommend pulling out the topspin boost ball if you have. Minimum topspin boost 2. You can check the curl using the grid I have on the video. It was only once that I clipped the rough here. Otherwise, I was always on the green for a very short putt for the eagle. Regardless, even this putt is not that terrible, and this is a must drop on hole number 3. Hole number 4, difficult wind here. Once again, starting off with our quarterback at complete P4 max line, keeping white ring touching the rough on the right. Then we switch to our Apocalypse and Cataclysm bag. You can play this one with a Centurion and Kingslayer, however, you will have a very shaky needle. So I recommend switching to P4 win 4 or a P5 win 4 ball instead. 7 top spin and 0.2 left spin. Adjustment will be Max+0 P4. And do not push up to max. Apply max right curl, max OP. Like I said, P5, P4 will have somewhat of a slow needle. P3 will have a very shaky needle. We are looking for a drive yardage somewhere around 380 to 385 yards. The second shot will be played using your Cataclysm at landing position plus yardage slider. And 10%, sorry, I played 10% P4. However, I would like you to change it to 15% P3 instead because of the mess I'm going to make here. So 3 top spin, 1 right spin. Try to find your initial plus yardage, and then you will have to guesstimate if you are at negative or positive. If you are at positive, you will already be seeing that. If you are at negative, you have to guesstimate it a little. +0 will be 67% slider. And then have ball guideline 2 green squares short of the pin. Again, on the video, I played 10% P4 at slider. I recommend playing 15% P3 at slider instead. I do hit perfect. And you will see we will miss this one just on the left. So if you make that adjustment in the elevation, you will be coming in center pin for the albatross. Hole number 5, here we have ascended wind, keeping the yellow ring touching the sand where it gets wet by the water, or Apocalypse level 8. And then here I'm using 2.8 top spin and 2 right spin. However, I recommend going to 2.5 top spin max because on some perfect hits and little tailwind angles, I was not clipping the rough and directly flew into the rough at the back. So keep 2.5 top spin max, do not go over. Half a ball of right curl, and then we are going to adjust 1:1 for winds above 13.6 miles per hour. Here I had somewhat of a crosswind angle, so I did clip the rough and roll out for a wedge shot. But if you have a more tailwind angle and 2.8 topspin, you might roll into the rough on top. For the drive on hole number 6, I'm going to keep my white ring touching the rough on right at complete P3 max using my quarterback. And after that, I'm going to move 2 rings towards the left. Once I move left, I'm going to switch to my Apocalypse and Cataclysm bag. Then apply full top spin and 2 left spin. And then make an adjustment, which is going to be Max+10 P3. And then apply a max left curl, max OP on a slow needle, trying to hit perfect. I have hit single great right, I have hit single great left, I have hit perfect, and all the times I was safe. On bad great lefts or rights, you might clip the rough and then end up on a short drive yardage, so keep that in mind. We are looking for a drive yardage somewhere around 395 to 398 yards. For shot number 2, I'm going to play with my Cataclysm level 7. You can play with Cat level 5 and 6 as well. However, you will need to visualize the ball guideline. We are going to play landing position plus at its slider at minus 10% P4 settings. Plus 1 and plus 2 shall play 88% slider here. And make sure you have ball guideline going at least 2 to 3 green squares through the hole. Here I do not keep it abundant through the hole, as a result of which I'm going to end up short. I keep it like 1 green square through the hole. If I can see it correctly, maybe 1 to 1.5. So keep it 2 to 3 green squares through the hole. Again, plus 2 is 88% slider and minus 10% P4 settings. Center the ball and hit perfect. And like I said, this will end up a little short. If you keep ball guideline going a little more through the hole, you will have a decent opportunity at the Albatross on hole number 6. Now hole number 7, this is a very aggressive play. If you are not comfortable with this, like hitting perfect on a Max+0 P needle, then do not play this one. Also, there are high possibilities of ending up in the rough if you do not pull correctly. At complete P3 max, keeping the white ring touching the rough on right using my Apocalypse level 8, and then I will switch to a P5 side spin 1 plus wind 5 ball. Great lefts and perfects are safe if you do not pull 1159. But even if you get stuck in the rough, you'll be safely saving this one for the birdie. So applying Max+0 P here, I hit a double triple great left, more like a double great left here, and we are planning to have the second bounce in the rough, then roll out onto that fairway pad. I repeat, you will have many chances of getting stuck in the rough. So if you're not comfortable with the drive, if you feel okay, maybe I should just lay up, then go ahead and do that and get the safe birdie. But this is the eagle opportunity here. Second shot will be played using your B52 level 7 plus at landing position plus at a slider and 10% P5 settings. For plus 5, it will be 84% slider. I use one left spin and have the ball line going through the hole, just like that. Plus 6 will be additional plus 1.1 decimal place. So 10% P5 at slider. Try it of it perfect. And this will nicely hit the pin for an eagle on a very difficult par 4, hole number 7. Consider 2 to 3 practice tokens specifically for the drive, and even if you are getting stuck in the rough maybe once, then I highly recommend to just lay up and play for the safe birdie. If you want to go aggressive, this is the play. Hole number 8, similar win to what we have in the Euro Trip 9-hole Cup. At P5 max stretch, keeping the clear ring touching the rough fairway line on the right. Then I'm going to use 6.2 top spin and 2 bars of right side spin. The max wind we can play here is 11.6 miles per hour. So if you have a higher wind, I recommend switching to a P5 wind 4 ball. Max right curl, Max OP, a power slice. We are looking to get into the wedge range here. I'm going to show you 2 wedge shots, one from a long drive, which is this one, and one from a shorter drive as well. 440 yards. Now we will first look at the wedge from the long drive. It will be played EB school method, no spin, 40% elevation, P5 settings. Measure your club at the pin. This one I estimated to be somewhere around 78% slider, 75 to 78% slider. I am taking my first bounce on the fringe and using whatever spins necessary to have the ball guideline just to the hole. Again, 40% P5 no spin EB school method. Adjust. hit perfect, and this will drop for the eagle. I have one more wedge shot upcoming from a shorter drive. I think that was around 420 yards. So this is when you're away from the rough on top. Somewhat of a shorter drive. I was almost like max distance, so I reduced 0.3 decimals from the max numbers here. Played P5 max plus 40% and removed 0.3 decimal places. Here I do hit a great right or left, I'm not sure. It's a great shot. Yeah, it's a great right. But regardless, we drop this one for an eagle once again. Final hole, hole 9 par 5. Here I'm going to start off by keeping my blue ring touching the rough on right at complete P5 max, and then going to make an adjustment, max plus 10% P5, and push my target to max using full top spin and 2 left spin. And then I'll be applying half a ball of left curl with Max OP, trying to hit perfect. Now here on the drive you will be getting 2 rollouts. The first rollout will be where you will not clip the rough after the first bounce, and second rollout where you might clip the rough on the third bounce as well. So this is the first bounce where we are on the fairway. Then the second bounce we clip the rough and then roll out directly on the fairway. In some cases the third bounce will also clip the rough and you will have a shorter drive, so I have a backup option as well. The drive yardage we are looking for is somewhere around 490 to 495 yards. Now if you are in the drive range, first we'll perform a green fringe check using our B52 right over the pin. So we perform our check, go over the pin, fringe where it means the green, plus 14. Our base will be 62% slider for plus 4. For plus 14 I will be adding 1 ring extra to the adjustment. Elevation played here is 30% P5 numbers. Use 3.4 to 3.5 toss spin. Keep ball guard line just short of the pin. Not just short, like about 2 green squares short, I'm sorry. So 30% P5 at slider. Center the ball and hit perfect. Now the thorn shot is played once again if you come in the drive range, which is once again 490 to 495 yards. This will nicely hit the pin dead center. If you, however, have the third bounce in the rough, then you will end up way short on the drive. In that case, we'll be playing a B52 rings from min. Playing rings from min, I recommend pushing up minimum 18 to 22 rings from min. 18 rings will play 20% slider, 19 rings will play 21% slider, 20 rings will play 22%, and so forth. Here on this shot, I believe I pushed up about 19 rings. First I pushed 10, then I pushed 5, 15, then 3 plus 1, 19, yes. So I pushed up 19 rings, which will give me 21% slider. This is a no spin shot, keeping ball guard line about 1 to 2 green squares short of the pin once again. Adjustment is 25% P4 at slider. Center the ball and hit perfect. And this will once again hit the pin for an albatross. So consider 1 to 2 tokens on every hole and make any tweaks as necessary. Good luck on your qualifying rounds.